Time now for the morning rush. This morning, Clovis is making a controversial move to try to ban abortions in their city. Clinics would have to apply for a business license within the city, and that license would bar them from using the mail, shipping companies, or the internet to get the supplies that they need for abortions. The state's top attorney's office says they are looking into the legality of the proposed ordinance. They're set to vote on it next month.
Meanwhile, Albuquerque will welcome Vice President Kamala Harris next week to talk about abortion. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham says that the VP will be in the state to discuss protecting reproductive rights. The VP is scheduled to be here on Tuesday, October 25th. Details on her visit are limited, but we will keep you updated as we learn more.
Two CYFD workers set to receive more than $300,000 after the whistleblowers won their lawsuit. Ivy Woodward and Kelly Mazie spoke out when the agency wanted to place the kids back with their abusive parents. Those were the two you just saw. The youngest child later ended up in a North Carolina hospital with brain damage. CYFD says they settled the case out of court to ultimately save money. Erica.
And here's a look at our school day forecast. Temperatures this morning are in the upper 40s, so you'll need the jackets and layers, but it's going to be a beautiful afternoon with sunshine and temps in the low 70s.
Westside drivers will likely need to find a different route this morning other than the area near Coors near Ellison. This over the next couple of days at least. This while crews work to repair a sinkhole caused by a water main break. For people traveling to Rio Rancho, officials recommend taking 528 or golf course instead.
More slow commutes are in the future for the Westside residents. Crews are getting into the next phase of the freeway reconstruction project. This weekend into early next week, there will be ramp and lane closures in both directions between 98th and Coors. DOT says this is the final stage of that project.
Tensions ran high at UNM last night, where state police dispersed a crowd of protesters outside of an appearance by conservative writer Ian Hayworth. Dozens of students protested outside the sub building, chanting for the organizers to leave. As of now, we have not heard of any arrests or property damage from last night's protest. Erica.
And here's a look at our threat index. It is low today, but we'll see some below freezing temperatures up north and west and windier conditions in the Central Highlands and East Plains.
The man charged with murdering his 5-year-old stepdaughter, I should say, has pleaded not guilty to his federal charges. Investigators say Malcolm Torres killed Renesme Calzada and disposed of her body 3 years ago. That case went to federal court because the crime happened on the Santa Clara Pueblo land.
A federal judge in California ruled 4 emails from Santa Fe lawyer John Eastman must be given to the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. The judge said it was part of an effort by former President Trump, Eastman, and other Trump lawyers to delay the counting of electoral votes by Congress on January 6th.
A federal appeals court ruled that U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham must testify before a special grand jury. That jury is investigating whether then President Donald Trump and others illegally tried to influence the 2020 election in Georgia. Graham could appeal the ruling. Erica.
All right, and let's get a check on traffic. Our traffic maps are showing a slight slowdown on I-40 East near Coors, and northbound Coors at Ellison remains closed this morning while crews are fixing a water main break. And here's a live look over the Big I, starting to pick up traffic there around the intersections.
Finally, take a look at this story. An artist in Australia using her talents to make something beautiful out of the trash left on the beach every morning for more than 20 years. The artist, known as Marina Debris, collects the trash and transforms it into sculptures. She hopes this will help raise awareness about single-use plastics and ocean pollution and to pick up after yourself.
Yeah.
Time now for the 5 facts.
At number 5, visitors to Albuquerque's Old Town, they can now take a look at a piece of Spanish history. The Albuquerque Museum dedicated its latest addition to the West Sculpture Garden. That's an 18th century stone oreo. That's a structure designed with an elevated storage area to protect grain and crops.
On to number 4 now. Some Westside drivers will likely need to find a different route other than Coors near Ellison over the next couple of weeks as crews repair a broken water main, leaving a massive sinkhole. The Water Authority says crews will repair the damage and repave the street.
And at number 3, it's going to be a windy weekend out there. We'll see those winds picking up in the metro tomorrow, and Sunday will be our gustiest day.
Number 2, now 2 CYFD workers set to receive more than $300,000 from the state after the whistleblowers won their lawsuit. Caseworkers Ivy Woodward and Kelly Mazie said they spoke out about a 2019 case when the agency wanted to place some kids back with their abusive parents. Woodward claims that CYFD even wanted her to lie in court and say the parents could take care of the kids. Woodward and Mazie sued after they say they were retaliated against. In a statement, CYFD says though they were confident in their defense, they settled this case out of court to ultimately save money.
And at number one this morning, New Mexico City is making a controversial move to ban abortion in their city. The Clovis City Commission says it will make the move to make abortion illegal within the city limits. Clinics would have to apply for a business license within the city, and that license would bar them from using the mail, shipping companies, or the internet to get the supplies they need for abortions. That ordinance also calls for prosecutors in the state to look into and prosecute anyone involved with the process in the city. Now, the state's top attorney says that they're going to be looking into the legality of the ordinance. The City Commission will be voting on the ordinance on November 3rd.